Good morning, David. How are you
I'm
doing?
good, except I'm playing with stuff. You know how it works.
Well, that's okay. I'm in my
Yep.
car in an unknown location charging.
Yep. He could be in Canada. He might not be in Canada.
I'm in Canada.
He's spoiler alert. He's in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's the big day.
It, it's a very big day. It's the day we do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So we finally got some entries, but we got other stuff to talk about. Yeah.
If you're here, uh, this keeps turning on. I don't know why. If you're here for giveaways and the contents and our contest and stuff, that's gonna happen. But before,
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that a little
yeah,
later.
before we get there, um, let's thank some folk. Boom. Yep. Mm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Making my dreams come true. Just kidding. It's not long enough to be copyright struck, right?
Yeah. David's voice is a little rough today, so there might be points where I talk more,
Yeah.
just to save his voice
The,
for the good stuff.
the coffee people in chat. So good morning, all Dan and the gang. Um.
Yeah.
So
Stig's in here, Dan, Dominic.
Dominic.
There's a whole bunch of people in here today.
Um, so the giveaway, all you had to do is send in a design and giveaway.
Yeah.
That's
But are we doing that now or are we going to talk about other
no,
stuff
let's
first?
do it now.
Okay. All right, we'll do the giveaway now. So uh so we have I don't know, do you have anything queued up to show off the one entry? No? No? Okay. Okay, well we'll just that's okay. No, okay, it's all right. Well, so our winners, and what we'll do is we'll get you guys to give us the proper email address. I think we can use your ones that you've sent, but if you haven't sent us one, we'll just confirm it. So our first winner is Stig. Congratulations, Stig! Yay! I don't. Uh, Okay, well, Stig, congratulations. You are one of our winners. You've won a $50 gift card to Spool 3D. It's a virtual gift card, so what we'll do is you'll get emailed the gift card. You can use it on their website to order whatever you want, and they ship internationally. So they they're great. They have lots of cool stuff on their site, so you can try them out if you like. So, and thanks for Spool 3D for sponsoring the Tchotchke second annual contest. That was awesome. So Derek over at Spool 3D, thank you, and Raymond over there, thank you guys for supporting us. The next person happens to be another surprise person from our Discord, and that is Dominic. Congratulations, Dominic! Yay! Dominic has won also a $50 gift card. So those are our two winners today, and we'll make sure that you get the stuff. So Stig made his mom does some really cool leather work, and he makes she has stamps that she decorates the leather work with, and so Stig made her a stamp that has the year. So he changes it every year. So we told you, you didn't have to do anything. You could have made your name, whatever. He made a stamp that said 2023, and it's a nice functional stamp, and she can stamp her work, and away you go. Unfortunately, I printed one, but I'm not at home, so I don't have it with
Here's the
me to
stamp.
show
I
off.
just show it off.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
excellent. Excellent. So that's a stamp that he
Yep.
made, and congratulations, Stig, on that.
And our
Yeah, he yeah,
and it's an organizer for stuff. I guess his grandson made it, but he's printing it up. So this was our second winner. It's to hold like stuff for the makeup vanity. So a
yeah,
bobble organizer. So it's still
yeah.
still
There you
still
go.
bobbly.
So it still
Yep.
qualifies. So yeah, there you go. So and, and yeah, and next year, we're gonna make sure we announce it quite a bit more ahead of time, and have more ducks in a row. So we'll probably announce it beginning of November. So you have lots of time, maybe late October, beginning of November. So you have lots of time to get your entries in. So you get a chance to win. And again, uh, we'll probably on the announcement show go over the different types of entries we've had, and so everyone can see that you don't have to be an engineer to enter. It's a fun contest. We want to just give back to our community, and again, we want to thank Derek over at Spool
Yep.
3D for helping us out. So they have a wide variety of products over at Spool 3D, and he did sponsor this. So this is sponsored.
Yep. It is sponsored.
Hashtag
Hashtag
sponsored.
sponsored.
Uh,
I'll see if I can't get a
so
little sponsor going on here. Hold on.
Yeah. But yeah, Spool 3D, they have a wide variety of stuff, easy to search. They ship worldwide. They're local to us, well, relatively local,
Spool
2 hours
3D.
from us.
Yep, but they have
So
everything.
they have everything, and they I'll answer questions and whatnot about the products that they sell. And yeah, and Ray, who's always in chat, he gets the stuff shipped out of the door really quick. So thanks, Ray and Derek, for supporting us, and
Yep,
hopefully you guys enjoy whatever you choose to buy with your $50 gift card.
we appreciate it.
Yeah,
So yeah, congratulations to the winners of the winning of things. It's a good sentence,
yeah,
right? It's a great sentence.
yeah, sure,
Um,
that works.
so last week we had impromptu stream. I think it was last week, where Greg had already installed his new sprite extruder from Creality, and then I was going to install mine. We
Yeah,
unboxed it, got like all disassembled the other one and that stuff, and then that's where the list
we talked
started.
about the gotchas.
Yeah. So I
Do you want me to start? Or do you want to start describing the list of
you
stuff?
go ahead first, and then I'll tear it apart at
Okay.
the end.
Okay, sounds good. So the Sprite extruder from Creality is the one we got was the Sprite Extruder Pro
Mm-hmm.
upgrade, I think is what it was, and it comes with a carriage and everything. I don't know if you want to put up a picture of it or
Yep,
something
I'll
while I'm
I'll throw
talking.
it up there.
It's marketed as an upgrade to an Ender 3. Now, okay, it is, but there's a few caveats. So you can mount it, put it on, wire it in, and everything. Uh, the caveats are the gantry, the X gantry that it rides on, the brackets on the Z upright that roll up the gantry to the top of the printer are a different shape than the original printer that this was designed for. So what happens is the nut on the rear of the gantry that are on one of the V wheels will hit on the right-hand side in two different places. The bottom nut will hit first, and if you fix that by putting on a non-nylock with a shorter screw and Loctite, it'll go further, but then it hits on the top one on the right side. So then you gotta take that one off and put a shorter screw and whatnot. And then it has the full movement to the right of the gantry. The next issue is when you home it, it on mine, it takes up about 5 millimeters. So it doesn't go fully off the bed like the old one did. So when you go to 0, you're actually 5 millimeters in on my bed. And I think, David, you said yours was like 2 millimeters in or something?
Yeah, mine was
on the one side.
So my hot end's 2 mil in.
Yeah. So I mean that's understandable depending on which bed you have and everything, right? So that's an issue. So we have we had to do some mods to make it work. Other than that, I mean, once we sorted those things out, it works all right. I haven't fully tweaked it, so my test prints that I did came out good. I was testing some of the new features in the new firmware, and so I was printing the models, and they printed fine. My other models, I'm having some weird, I don't know if it's cooling, because I'm not super impressed with the way the cooling setup is. But yeah, so it works. It's not a newbie direct out of the box, put in and don't lose space on your build plate mod, or upgrade. It's you have to mod the upgrade just to make it work, so you get your full build surface area and whatnot. So I've talked a bit. I'll let David kind of throw in his thoughts, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay, so let's start kindly, shall we say? They tried. That's what I'll say about it. They tried. There's a piece mechanically
for the extruder piece,
for the extrusion
seems
it works.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the filament path and that stuff, it's fine. It does what it's supposed to do. But like the gantry piece, like Greg said, it was a swing and a clear miss. So like you can see on my screen, I'm kind of like rotating my mouse around it right here. There's that little fin, and that fin is what makes contact with your end stop switch. And that's different sizes on Greg's and mine's. Probably that's why we have two different homing positions.
And I bet you, because they take it and they bend the one side, right, the radius to make the mount. And I bet you there's probably like 3 millimeters difference depending on who's bending it.
Right. And so that's one thing. The other thing too is hold on, I'm going to zoom back out. So we kind of talked about it on this stream. A convenient retrofit upgraded performance. This is neither convenient nor I wouldn't call it a retrofit either. Now we did look into, let's see if we have I'm going to bring up the other printer here just to show you guys. So Creality has new Ender 3s, right? So
Ender 3 SL1 Pro.
And so I'm just going to bring that up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. But like on the new printer, I think Ender 3 SL1 Pro. Ender 3 1 Pro. So on there we go. So on the newer printer here, I'll go back to the screen capture here. Sorry. On the new printer, you can see here on the gantry side of the printer, it's different. this
It's more of a T
it's a
shape.
T shape, which means this can actually travel without having to worry about those bolts. So that was one thing. And they use these plastic coverings on the 2040s on it to hide all of it, or 2020s, whatever they happen to be. So it rides the extrusion. There's no binding. The screws fit on it. Like Greg said,
Yeah,
we had to use Loctite, which was dumb.
it's not
Not
ideal,
ideal.
but I
So
mean,
like
and we had to find shorter
we did,
screws.
and thankfully we have. So if you all know and follow, we had Legends, and the Legend actually used smaller screws, so we took those. So it's not a retrofit, for one thing. They think it is, but if you were to install it just straight up, it won't work. Um,
Yeah.
the
Well, it will. Okay,
It'll work.
that's not quite right.
It'll work.
It'll work, but you will lose build volume. Like you're going to
Mm-hmm.
lose build volume both on the left and the right side of your build plate. And on the right
It'll be
side,
30.
you'll
Yeah.
lose like good like 20 total 30
Yeah.
millimeters of build volume, which I mean,
How do you?
that's a
Yeah,
lot.
like when your total build volume is like technically 225 or whatever, but 235 is what
220
you
by
can. Yeah.
220 is what they say,
Yeah.
but I mean, you and I tweak ours and get the full
Right.
235
And I mean, so
or as close to
from
it,
that
right?
standpoint, yes, this extruder does fit because technically you could still print 220 by 220, like
Well, barely.
barely, but like it is not a this is not a replacement nor a drop in. So like I guess if would you recommend this extruder for somebody that wants a drop in?
No,
No.
no. I honestly, I would say do like the micro
Yeah, I was
Swiss,
just gonna say yeah.
or do one of like what's the one I did in my Ender or my
Oh yeah,
CR10.
with the plate.
The
I can't remember it
um
now.
oh that was the Bondtech.
Yeah, yeah,
The Bondtech direct extruder, and then you just put the hot end in the
yep,
bottom. Um, that one I would recommend, or the
yep.
Chimera. Those are all good choices. I don't know. I don't have any experience with the Big Tree Tech H2,
So
but you have
yeah,
some
like the H2,
experience with that one.
they're okay, and I would give the Chimera and the H2 honorable mentions, but they're not drop-in replacements. You'll have to do
No,
some.
they're not.
You'd have to do modding to the
Yep.
plate or build a bracket, right?
Yep.
So like as for drop-in
Yep.
replacements, Micro Swiss all the way. Bondtech has one
Yep.
as well, and like the mic.
Yep.
So like I've been running the original. And I did a video on it, but I've been running this one. This, hey, that's not it. Hold on, that's me big. One more. I've been running this one, um, and it's worked great. I haven't had any problems with it, and everything fits, including like the BL Touch.
Right.
So so this is an example of what happens when you have engineers designing pieces, not how do you put it? Engineers are developing this stuff, not people in like a boardroom that goes, "Hey, wouldn't this be cool? Can we do that?"
Well, I think someone just threw it
Yeah.
together, right, and designed it for the one printer, and they're like, "Hey," someone marketing said, "Hey, we could just
Yep.
package this and sell it to everyone." We sold so many under
Yeah.
threes. We'll
Just
just
package it, send it
market
out the
it for
door.
that. And no one tried
Yeah.
it, or they said, "Here, go try it." And it was an inexperienced person that threw it on,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, it
Yeah.
works."
And
Well, but they didn't like
yeah.
look at what volume and whatnot. Like you got to do a full kind of evaluation if you're doing an upgrade
Yep.
and say, okay, what are our limitations? Do we need to modify it or whatever?
Yep.
Right? Like they're just like, we have this product, it's on the shelf, we have a whole bunch of extra, let's
Yep.
sell them.
And the
That's
infuriating
what it
thing
was.
about like this sprite extruder is like when you're putting it on their mount plate, their new mount plate has the 2 holes for the old hot end heatsink, which means they probably just worked off the old one.
Kind of,
Well, they're
kind
the
of.
mount.
I think they did that for
That's what I'm
alignment,
saying.
but it doesn't actually fit the old heatsink. I
No,
tried.
and the thing is move those 2 millimeters to the left, and then everything would be
Well,
aligned.
either that,
Or shave the
either
end.
that, or once you've done your
Yeah.
bend, you put it in a calibration jig just to measure, and then you trim it to the exact, right?
Gary,
But,
the benefits to this extruder are Creality says it's compact and lightweight, which it is. We weighed it and it weighs less.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
the
less by how much? Do you
hole was
remember?
barely any. It was a few ounces.
100
Yeah.
grams or something
So it does weigh less. So on paper, yeah.
ish.
It's all metal, which means you can print
Yes,
the high.
that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
And then it's direct drive. So when you're moving
Yeah,
from like
yeah,
that PTFE Bowden kind of stuff, this does take you there.
yeah,
So those are
yeah.
really the benefits. They have. I'm gonna read right from their website here. new breakthrough, well manufactured. Yeah.
That's a great
So they're
breakthrough.
using kind of the Bondtech gears.
Okay,
And,
so
yeah.
I will say that the actual, like, the size of the stepper, the quality of the gears and whatnot, and the release and everything, that's very
Yep.
solid. And even going down the heat break and whatnot, I'm not. I until I figure out exactly what's going on with mine, and you printed some, and I can kind of coordinate with you and see what your
Yeah.
thoughts are. I don't think the cooling is that great, because I think with the old setup, the hot end cooling
Yep.
fan had the holes. It provided additional cooling,
Yeah.
right? And so from the overflow, so I think the cooling isn't as good on this one. So I've been looking at designs of different retrofits to get cooling around the other sides and back, kind of
Yeah, and
thing.
I think it's a 4010 blower, but like it's this thing on the front end. You can, and
Yeah,
I think Greg hit the nail on the head. Not that. So the original Ender 3, Ender 3 Pro, Ender 3 V2, those hot ends with the fan up front, they steal cooling, which is a problem in itself.
yeah,
But like when you look at this extruder, if you are looking at one, it goes on sale and stuff, buy it. Just be prepared to do work to get it to work. So like if you were to ask us,
yeah. I think once we tweak it and everything
yep,
and whatnot, and if you were like buying the SL1 right out of the box,
yeah,
it's going to function properly on the SL1 Pro, right?
yeah, and
But
so
I don't have any experience with the rest of the mechanics on the SL1 Pro, but
yeah,
the extruder itself should work perfect on that, because that's what it was designed for.
yeah, and then they're like, oh, we got this thing and it looks pretty good, so let's just market it. And
Yeah.
like Greg said, it's in here, so let's just use it as retrofit. But yeah, like just to give comparison, Stig has a good point in the chat. Like this extruder by itself is $110 US. The Micro Swiss all metal hot end kit is $100 even for their original one. They have a new one that's kind of like, it uses the NGX kits. And they're about 120. So when you're looking at extruders, I would look, like we said, like
Right.
this isn't. If this product was a drop-in replacement, it would be like you going to the store and say, "Hey, my kid has an Xbox. I'm gonna buy that Xbox controller, and this Xbox controller is gonna work." Yeah.
And it just works.
I lost your video feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
There.
I'll try.
Now
I'll
we
see
see
if
your
I can
face again.
turn it
Yeah.
up. Is it back?
You keep changing sizes though, even in the other one. The joy of a car stream, people.
Well, we had to do the stream no matter
That's
where I
true.
was. So
Well, now you get
we kind of
blurry
booked it.
fuzzy Greg until he comes back to normal, not fuzzy Greg. So that's the story with the extruder. Does it work? Yes. Is it easy to work? No. If you happen to have one or get given one, use it. Right? But
Yeah. Once it's installed and tweaked,
yeah,
it'll just work fine. But the key is it's for a first time
yeah,
newbie and whatnot,
yeah. Like
don't get it.
if you open this
For
Christmas
an
morning, we'd be
experienced
sad.
modder,
'Cause-
yeah, yeah. For an
yeah,
experienced modder or experienced 3D printer owner who owns a couple printers and repairs his own printers,
yep.
you can make it work.
The other weird thing, and it's not weird, per se, but like all of the wiring is done through a um ribbon cable that
Ribbon
has
cable.
this really
Yeah.
not good strain relief, and it kind of bobbles behind. And I wish that there was more of a strain relief piece there, like more rigid, to make sure that
Yeah.
the end
Oh
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
pop out. Because if that ribbon cable pops out, you'd be ordering a new one if it ripped or something. Steak says I paid $16 for a
Yeah.
Triangle Lab V6, $8 for an all metal extruder. Rest is 3D printed parts, and it just works. I did that, Steak. I did that, and that's what this replaced. I don't think it's wrong, and I think you're right. But again, experienced modder, you know what you're doing. So
Yeah.
that is probably the better
Do-
way to go.
Dominic has a good like he's like he's thinking about upgrading, but he's like I don't know what would make his printer better. Like is what he's saying,
Yeah.
and you're right. You're like if your printer is printing really well
Yep.
and whatnot, and you let's say you don't have a specific need to do flexible or something,
Yeah.
you don't need to upgrade it, right? Like
Well,
we
if it,
we do this stuff to entertain you guys, tell you what our feedback is, tell you what we hate about it, tell you why it's a bad product or a good product or
yeah.
and whatnot, and go through the pains. So hopefully you don't have to. So that's why we do this stuff.
Yep.
Did I need to upgrade my ender that was printing amazing?
Oh,
No. And so now I have a printer that I'm going to be tweaking for the next month to get it to
yeah.
where it prints amazing. Now, I have other printers and I've been printing on my other printers because they're tweaked,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's going to take some time to get there. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know if that's enough on the sprites.
No, let's keep tearing it apart. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think that's it in a nutshell. And yeah, like I think if you're happy with the way your gear is working, don't change it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's printing good and you're getting good parts and you're happy with how long stuff is going, right? Like in a farm, you'd worry about speed and volume, but if you're doing it at home and you're happy, oh dang it, Greg, your face. I'm always chasing Greg's face size this morning. It's jeez.
Sorry. My bad.
Let's see if we can get him in here again. There we go. He's not centered by any means, guys. I don't care. There he is. Okay. All right. Okay.
Sorry.
So while I'm keeping up with Greg, something else did happen, and that is, it's kind of happening. If you go to the Prusa GitHub, the new version of Prusa Slicer has been announced.
I don't actually see it on. It's been announced on. They announced it on the Prusa Live stream.
Well,
So and on YouTube and whatnot, and they have a
yeah,
blog
like the
post
alpha
about
has
it.
made the GitHub
But it's
list
not.
now.
It's
Yeah.
oh, did it?
It's so like you have to click the
Okay.
compare button
So
and then go to it,
2.6.
and it's just a version bump. So like they don't have
Oh,
a.
yeah. So it's.
No, I was just saying they don't have a
Go ahead.
release yet, right? So
So one of the features that they've been kind of showing off, they have a trophy, and then what they did was they have a trophy that they want to label, and it's got a round base or a curved base, and they've added in Prusa that you just type in text drop it on the model, like you draw
Mm-hmm.
an area on the model, and it's an STL or whatever, and it wraps around the
Mm-hmm.
geometry of the model. So there, like Fusion had to do a lot of stuff to so that you could do it around round models, and there were some limitations and stuff. But this, they put it right in the slicer. So you model and you want to quickly, like put happy birthday to someone on it, or number one whatever. It wraps around. So they have a few animations on that they show off and whatnot. So I think that's a really cool feature. I'm not sure what else is coming in 2.6 because we should be getting, like you said, the alphas coming up. But that is a nice little feature. I still all they need is tree supports, and then we're golden.
Yeah, and the tree supports exist inside of Prusa Slicer, just in the SLA side right now. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a far stretch to mod that a bit and bring it over.
right.
Because I know people that were slicing for SLA and just bring it over and took care after, and then exporting the build plate kind of thing.
But yeah, SLA supports are a little bit different though. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like that I would think they could adapt something really quite easily. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that's the one thing I noticed. I don't know if you've noticed any other announcements. There's been a whole bunch of Big Tree Tech board announcements,
Yeah.
but then they also announced that COVID's exploding there, so they don't have the manufacturing capacity because half their workforce is out sick.
Yeah.
And so they announced all these new boards that and then they have their Pi module. It's the Pi 4 module piece that they announced like last year. They've announced a whole bunch of the Manta boards. I think there's 4 different versions now that you can put the Pi 4. What is it called?
The
But
Manta,
it no, the board it's their Pi.
the CB, whatever.
Yeah, it's just a little circuit board that pushes on that's Pi 4 compatible.
Yeah.
Um, and anyway, it's the compute. Yeah, that's what it is. The Pi compute
Yeah.
module type thing that plugs on. And so there's like 4 or 5 boards that they've announced and whatnot. So that's the only other thing I've really seen. But right now I don't need a board.
No.
I got extra boards that I haven't even used yet. So
Okay, so
yeah,
I have to circle back on something, Greg.
sure.
Prusa Slicer 2.6. If you look at
Okay.
Joseph Prusa's Prusa Slicer post,
Yeah.
they're not getting tree support. They're getting, in 2.6, they're getting something that's called organic support. So
Well,
organic
call it what you
support
want.
is tree support. So he released a print and a slice of what it looks like. So here's what it is.
Oh, sweet.
And it's tree support. So like they call it organic, but yeah, there's a little trunk and branches that go up and hold the model, and it organically grows. It looks more like a tree than tree support. So there you have
Nice.
it. So the end of Kira is
Nice.
nigh.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that because Kira, I still use, like I've still been using it, and it's been, very very solid. So,
Yeah.
and if you're comfortable in Kira, keep using Kira. If you're comfortable in any slicer, keep using it. Like until it doesn't work for you, keep using it. But
Yeah.
I encourage you to try other slicers because there might be features and whatnot. Like for example, multicolor printing. Like if you're just doing so I did a horse crossing sign for my daughter. So the bottom half of the sign was yellow, and then the raised area where like the image for the horse crossing and the border, I made black. Well, to do the color change between that in Prusa, you just slide the slider down, hit the plus sign, and boom, you're done. Like it's super simple to do the raised multicolor printing, where it pauses your print and then you change your filament. So like dead simple. It's a lot. I would say it's quite a bit more work to do it in you have to like figure out what line you want the M600 at
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot, and so you could do it in Kira,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say it's more nerdy work. It's not just
Nerd.
that simple,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. And like, Stig says, has anybody tried the Sonic pad? And no, I haven't. It caught my eye.
No,
It's neat looking. Would I try it? Probably. But like,
I've seen Nero. He did a thing on it.
yeah, like it looks like a good controller for uh, a little print farm or
Yeah.
one printer. You don't have to use it on a
Well,
farm. You can
yeah,
use it on one printer if you want.
yeah, because it's basically Clipper, right?
Yeah, it's and running on the onboard compute, and then yeah.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, it looks neat. I don't have any hands on with it. I think it's about 150 bucks. Let me check. Hold on. So I'll buy now. I want to buy now. Yeah, so they're about
it's
160 bucks US. So
yeah,
I mean, right now,
basically if you have a Pi,
yeah.
you don't need this.
Well, I wouldn't
But if
say
you
that.
don't have a Pi and it's hard to get a Pi and you want to try Clipper,
Yeah.
this could be a gateway. But it's a little trickier to get to work on any printer that doesn't have the Creality board in it.
Yeah.
Out of the box, it works with the Creality.
Yep.
If you update to the latest version, then you can go through the hoops. Now they've made it so that you can make it work
Yeah.
with a non-Creality printer. So
Yeah,
just
because
keep that in mind.
they changed the verbiage on their website from a few weeks back to works with almost any printer on the market. So
Yes.
and then Dominic followed up. Man, is Octoprint ever going to do a build for Risk boards? And it's like that'd be sweet. But I don't see it coming. That's probably way off their radar, unfortunately. Dang it,
Yeah,
Cricket Video keeps changing.
it's
So.
tough. Right.
Now, speaking of Raspberry Pis, which are almost impossible to find, it's important to keep in mind that they're not the only microcontroller or computer that can run your Octoprint farm and those things, right? There's Orange Pis, Banana Pis.
Yeah, you have to find custom builds for those because they're not like
Well, you
a
don't.
one to one. You can't just put the standard Raspberry image on them. But
No, but
but
they all
you
have
can as
their own
long
build, and you
yeah
can put. Almost all of them will
yeah
support like little Ubuntu or, Mint or
yeah
a Linux flavor, and then you can build on
yeah
top of.
yeah. Which depending on your skills with Linux and whatnot, that could be a little intimidating for some people,
Hmm?
right?
Don't be
Where
intimidated.
whereas it no, don't be intimidated. Try it, but uh, but some people want to just take the image, load it on, follow the Pi sites or the Octoprint site steps, and just get
Hmm.
running right away. And so there's just again a little more work,
Hmm.
but you should be able to get any of those microcontrollers working. And as I believe our good friend Stig will tell you, you can run it on a PC too, under Linux on a PC. You can run it, on whatever you want. You don't need to have one of the small computers. If you had an old computer kicking around, you can use that too.
Yeah, Dominic, they have a listing, but if you look, they are sold out. um,
Yeah,
so like the Raspberry Pi have kind of changed how they manufacture right now, and they're only doing manufacturing for large volume corporate kind of stuff right now. But like
yeah,
the
yeah. They
Orange
they
Pi
they
does
can't get enough of them.
accept the Raspberry Pi image. So
Yeah,
that's a good alternative. But yeah, they can't. When COVID hit, everybody went, "Oh, we need these," and yeah, out of stock everywhere.
they,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I watched an interview with the CEO, and he says, "Yeah, we're not announcing a Raspberry Pi 5,
no,
just so you know.
no,
We want to get our manufacturing of the 4 and all the products we currently have, and even some of the new compute modules and whatnot that are based on the Raspberry Pi 4. We want that all
yep,
going first, And once that's all going, then we'll start working
But
on that.
yeah, they have a listing. But yeah, like I said, they don't have any stock. They all say out of stock, sadly. Um, but like if you can get your hands on an orange pie, you can use the pie imager with it and those things. Um,
Yeah,
and they're fairly similar. Um,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't worry about it not working. There are some
No.
knockoffs that come from some places that will catch fire on occasion because the, the soldering is bad.
it's a fe- it's a it's a
It's a
feature.
feature set, and
So,
not so much 3D printer news, but like we've all ordered from AliExpress. I noticed that the CEO, the old CEO, stepped down, so Alibaba and AliExpress have a new corporate management
oh,
structure
I did,
coming. I
okay,
mean, like I said, not directly 3D printing, but I think everybody has
yeah,
shopped there at one point. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Now Dominic was asking something about the content
oh
sponsor,
no,
the contest.
he was asking. He
What?
said they had Raspberry Pis, but
Oh,
yeah, it's
gotcha.
Spool 3D.
Yeah, yeah. Spool 3D. They and I think he was asking about do they have the Creality thing too, right?
Well, they do have the Creality stuff for sure. I don't know if he has any stock
Like,
of like the Sonic board though. Life is full of trade-offs.
yeah,
You're not wrong.
you're not
Give
wrong.
and take,
Yeah.
give and
Well,
take.
we should probably thank some more
Yeah, I'm
people.
gonna push the button right now. Boom. Thank you, people. Thanks for.
Thank everyone for their
Yep.
support. It makes what we do worth doing,
And then
and we love joining you on
you
Sundays.
can find
So
us at 3dmakeit.ca.
you
And we
can,
3D Make It everywhere else. So youtube.com/slash 3D
yeah,
Make It, patreon.com/slash 3D Make It. We don't have much of
yeah,
a Twitter presence, but we are on there. I mean, we have
yeah.
a
Well, each
tweet.
of it, yeah, and we don't have a Mastodon account. So if you're looking to, for 3D Make It Mastodon, we have not set one up, and then I don't know if Mastodon's a flash in the pan or not. So I'm not sure we're going to set it
Yeah,
up.
we're not getting on the
So
ground floor of that one. But
yeah, so.
like
But David's voice is kind of failing, so we're gonna start the wrap up right away here because we don't want him to lose his voice and then not be able to do this next Sunday, right? So
yeah. So
yeah,
again, thank you to all of the folk that are here that came check it out. Congratulations to the winners. Greg's video is resizing again, but that's fine. Um, but yeah, so thanks for checking it out. Hop in the Discord
yeah,
if you have questions or want to talk more about the topics that
yeah,
happened, like the risk fee stuff or
yeah,
sizers or whatever it happens to be. But yeah, thank you for coming. And
yeah, and just again, congratulations to both Stig and Dominic for our winners, and we'll get your email over to Derek so he can send you off the virtual gift cards, and then you can browse their site and see what's up. So again, thanks to Derek at Spool
take
3D
care.
for sponsoring this contest for the second year in a row. We really appreciate it, and hope you guys get either parts or filament or whatever. Derek and will get you all straightened away, and then Raymond will get it all shipped to you. So
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it,
You
guys.
betcha.
I got a 4.5 hour drive ahead of me, so Thanks for coming,
Thanks for
guys.
coming. We'll chat to all next week or on Discord sooner. Bye.
Bye.